Of course, the main crew from Star Trek Enterprise were the series stars, but let's be honest, Jeffrey Coombs as Commander Shran stole every episode he was in. How can you not love the Andorian who started out with a rough relationship with Captain Jonathan Archer, but slowly grew into a character you love to see turn up each season? But whatever happened to him? We recently explored and learned about the fate of Archer's NX-01 command crew. But what about Shran? Where did he end up in the Star Trek universe? In today's Star Trek Explained video, we take a look at the history of Shran in the Star Trek universe. Welcome to Trek Central, I'm your host Captain Jack, and let's get into it. But before we warp into this video, if you want to keep up to date on the latest Star Trek news, lore, and more, then hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. You can also follow us on social media for daily updates on the Star Trek universe. While you're watching, which character or topic from the Star Trek universe should we explore next? Who else are you interested in knowing more about? Okay, engage. Now, a quick little disclaimer, most of the content we will talk about comes from Star Trek books, comics, and maybe some video games. This is regarded as Star Trek's beta canon, also known as the expanded universe. As such, we'll use reference footage from Star Trek Enterprise on your screens. Don't worry, we'll also include links to where you can get these books for yourself in the video description. Okay, let's go. To catch up with Shran's story and provide context for what we'll talk about, let's look back to where we last prominently saw Commander Shran. No, not the Star Trek Enterprise final episode, but rather the Romulan drone crisis. In November 2154, the Kamari was annihilated by a Romulan drone ship masquerading as a Tellarite craft. Shran, his officer Talos, and 18 other crew members evacuated via escape pods before being retrieved by the NX-01 Enterprise, under the command of Captain Jonathan Archer. The Earth starship was also carrying Gor Bim Gral, who was the Tellarite ambassador. Convinced Gral was responsible for the Kamari's destruction, Shran stormed into his quarters and threatened him at weapon point. Though Archer defused the immediate conflict, Gral's associate, Narg, shot Talos, leading to her demise. Seeking vengeance for Talos' death, Shran invoked the Ushan challenge against Narg, but Archer stepped in as Narg's substitute. The confrontation concluded when Archer severed Shran's left antenna, leaving him vulnerable. Investigations later revealed that Romulans were operating their unmanned drone vessels through a telepathic control executed by the Aenar, which were a subspecies of the Andorian people. Archer and Shran journeyed to Andoria to seek the assistance from the Aenar, with again Jahamel's support. Through her intervention, they succeeded in convincing Gareb, the Romulan ship's controller, to cease the offensive. It did result in his own death, but the Romulan plot to destabilize the growing alliances was stopped. Following the conclusion of these incidents, Shran made his way back to Andoria, where circumstances compelled him to step down from the Imperial Guard, after which he elected to reside with the Aenar. Half a year passed before Shran witnessed the establishment of the Shelby Bond group composing his Aenar friends. Just as the Aenar ritual drew to a close, Orion raiders stormed the location, swiftly capturing and transferring Aenar members to their vessel. Given the Aenar's non-violent principles, only Shran could offer resistance, though he was quickly subdued and forced to observe helplessly as Jamal, who he had grown to cherish, was captured. After the incident, Shran and Ferris reached out to Captain Archer, seeking assistance in locating his Aenar friends. Initially hesitant due to his commitment to attend the Coalition compact signing on Earth, Archer ultimately chose to support Shran. They successfully traced the Orion's vessel's warp signature to Agion Prime. At this point, both Captain Archer and Shran strongly suspected that the Romulans had orchestrated the Aenar's capture through the Orions and the Adigions. When diplomatic efforts to locate the Orion vessel proved unsuccessful, Archer determined that a landing party would descend to the planet's surface to investigate an Orion slave market. When they were able to capture an Orion guard in the hopes of interrogating him, Archer had to hold Shran back after he nearly killed the guard. However, Shran's methods were good for loosening the Orion's tongue, as he pleaded with Archer not to let Shran near him again. The guard did reveal that the Orion vessel had transferred the Aenar to a Romulan freighter that was heading into Romulan space. The guard's colleagues arrived to rescue him, but thankfully a timely beam-up saved the party from becoming slaves. Lacking in the precise coordinates of the vessel, Commander T'Pol devised a strategy to link Shran to the telepresence apparatus previously engineered by Commander Tucker during their earlier encounter with the Aenar. Despite not possessing telepathic abilities, there are suggestive of a profound connection between Shran and Jamal might enable a telepathic bond. The initial trial almost harmed Shran's mental state and damaged the equipment, but during the second attempt, he successfully pinpointed the Aenar's location. Defying Starfleet Command's orders, Captain Archer took Enterprise into Romulan territory to pursue the cargo vessel. Upon interception, Shran and Ferris accompanied a strike team tasked with locating the Aenar. While the Enterprise engaged 2 Romulan warbirds in combat, Ferris employed his telepathic abilities to initially conceal the strike team from Romulan detection, ultimately compelling the Romulans to direct their weapons at one another. With the sentries neutralized, the strike team and the remaining Aenar were transported back to Enterprise. Unfortunately, Ferris did choose to stay on the Romulan cargo ship to detonate the craft, preventing his capture by the Romulans. Before he perished, he expressed his desire for Shran to join the Aenar Shrelov Bond group alongside his companion. These events were told through the Star Trek Enterprise novel, The Good That Men Do. Of course, it would not be long before one of the worst events in the 22nd century kicked off, this being the Earth-Romulan War. At the early phases of the Earth-Romulan War, Shran stayed retired. Yet when several former shipmates from the Kamari perished at the Battle of Thralium 4, Shran re-entered the Imperial Guard with his bondmates' approval. After rejoining the Andorian Imperial Guard, Shran received a promotion to the rank of General, and was appointed to the command of the IGS Waitan. In his new position aboard the Waitan, Shran was tasked with overseeing the Vulcan warp detection grid within the Andor system. During this assignment, his crew noticed multiple grid sensors becoming non-operational, which ultimately revealed that the Romulans were launching an assault. During the ensuing conflict, Shran permitted the Earth vessels, NX-03 Challenger and USS Yorktown, to engage in the combat. Unfortunately, the Romulans seized Andorian auxiliary fighters, compelling Shran to eliminate the craft. During the Battle of Andoria, the NX-03 Challenger was lost with all hands. This was done via Captain Roy Dunsel activating the ship's self-destruct and ramming a Romulan warbird. While losing the vessel, it prevented it from attacking Andoria and taking control of the Challenger. After the engagement, Shran became intoxicated on Frisian grain wine due to his anguish over destroying fellow Andorians. Later that year, Shran enlisted in the armada that reclaimed Aniva from the Romulans. As the end of the year of 2156 set in, General Shran would retire from the Imperial Guard once again. This was due to the decision by both the Andorian and Tellarite governments to withdraw from the Earth-Romulan War. He would return to his bondmates and daughter Tala on Andoria. In 2160, upon learning of Starfleet's decisive assault on Charon, Shran felt compelled to take action. With assistance from a Klingon known as Kolos, he assembled a fleet of armed merchant vessels and hastened to support Captain Archer. During the conflict, while most of his vessels were annihilated, he provided crucial time for reinforcements of Vulcan, Andorian, and Tellarite warships to arrive, leading to the Earth-Romulan War's conclusion through the obliteration of the Romulan fleet. Shran's actions and movements during the Earth-Romulan War were told through the Enterprise novels Beneath the Raptor's Wing and To Brave the Storm. After forming the United Federation of Planets and establishing a Federation Starfleet in 2161, newly promoted Admiral Jonathan Archer persuaded Shran to join the fledgling organization. He was given the rank of Admiral and became Chief of Staff of the Andorian Guard branch of Starfleet. In that capacity, he was in charge of the defense of the entire new Federation. In 2161, amidst the Aenar Crisis, he took direct command of the Starfleet task force operating in the Kundari sector, establishing his base at Rigel 5. Despite facing considerable pressure from various Federation officials, Shran maintained his commitment to pursuing a diplomatic approach with the Vertians. His steadfast dedication to peaceful resolution eventually proved successful, due to significant part in the diplomatic endeavours of Captain T'Pol and her crew aboard the USS Endeavour. In 2165, Shran authorised the commitment of 7 Andorian Guard ships to the Starfleet Task Force sent to find the origin of the Ware. The Ware Crisis after this had kicked off massively. We recently recapped these events in our video, which spoke about another Star Trek Enterprise character, Malcolm Reed. Check that one out on the Trek Central YouTube channel. Shran's involvement in the United Federation of Planets is told through the Enterprise novels, A Choice of Futures, and Uncertain Logic. Having gained political experience during his military service, including his role in the Waitan Panmock Treaty negotiations, Shran would eventually secure a position on the Federation Council. It would seem Shran's story ends here. He would publish his memoirs by the Andorian High Command in the Andorian year of 6180. It is not known what happened to him, but by the late 24th century, a cerulean statue of the Andorian legend was located in Laibok and visible from the offices of Vane. She is the Andorian representative to the Federation Council in the late 2370s. Personally, we like to believe that Shran would go back and settle on Andoria with his family. That sounds like a nice ending for the character. What do you think? Have you got your own version of events for Shran? So, that's the history of Shran from Star Trek Enterprise. Yes, it's not a definitive ending to the storyline, but sometimes that's also nice. Whenever we do these videos, it really makes me wish for more adventures with the Enterprise cast and NX-01 crew, especially Commander Shran. Thankfully, we do have these amazing books, and if you want to read them, I highly encourage you to do so. I've linked them down below in the video description. Perfect as a way to end off a year or start a new one. Do enjoy. Of course, if you want to continue the Star Trek Enterprise adventures here on Trek Central, check out our Star Trek Enterprise playlist on the end screen now. If you want to keep up to date on the latest Star Trek news, lore, and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. You can also follow us on social media or join our community Discord server. For now, I've been Captain Jack, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Live long and prosper, my friends. Goodbye.